We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do this as a brand new, let's say I'm going to the city of Fayetteville website for the first time. This is what we're generally having the public do to be able to navigate to the website anyway, so. Taking a different approach to this now, getting started up, but what we're gonna go into this as, I'm looking at this website for the first time and we're gonna go into it this way. If you have received the slides ahead of time, then it would be good to be able to follow along with kind of what it is that I have laid out for you. But the agenda, we're gonna go ahead and cover the IDT training resources. We're gonna look at the Fayworks permit search system. We'll look at next request, which is the public record request on what it is that the public is doing within that. So within next request specifically for real estate brokers is going to be identifying whether or not there are any permits that are currently issued, expired, and what it is that they need to do to be able to speak to the property owner to get that stuff corrected prior to listing and then prior to sale. So we'll go over that, cover just some of the IDT project page overview within the EDevelopment portal. There's some frequently requested information that we see and be able to share some of that with you. Walk through somewhat of what a project submittal might look like for an applicant. There's different types of training and we're trying to tailor things specifically to the crowd that we are working with. So in this case, we're focused on what it is that I see more frequently, and then we'll allow y'all some time to be able to ask some questions at the very end of this. And then if there's questions throughout the training as well, please feel free to chime in, let us know. I'm going to see. So I am working off of the computer here at the association. Let me see if I can. God bless you. Okay, with me here today, I have our permit technician supervisor, Patricia Johnson, and then our chief building official, Jason Everidge. So I'm gonna have Patricia initially, she's gonna cover some of the information that is gonna be important for you to know, and then for any of your buyers or sellers to know. And this is gonna be permit related prior to going through, doing any renovations, and then prior to sale and then posting all that within the listing. So general requirements on what it is that we need to be able to receive your permit, process it, and then get everything inspected. So then the issuance of your certificate of occupancy or certificate of compliance. So Patricia, you could a couple words on what it is that we're seeing and required prior to the processing of their permits.
Good morning, my name is Patricia Johnson. I am the permit technician supervisor. First of all, if you're not registered through the portal, you have to register if you're first time users. And then with the residential and commercial, if it's any projects that's over 40,000 that needs to be processed through a general contractor, the handyman can pull the permit. And anything over 40,000 for handyman, they need a homeowner's affidavit. The handyman can pull the building permit, but as far as any trade permits, there need to be a licensed contractor. And anything over 40,000, they do need a lien agent and workers' comp. That's basically the steps to get it started.
Thank you. So throughout this, let me look at the Q&A real quick. Okay, web page address you're going to. Let's see. Okay, Jennifer, that was Patricia Johnson. That was our permit technician supervisor. I have. Let's see. Yeah, if there's anything in here, we can go ahead and I'll address the questions as they come in as I see them. Apologize as well that the technology on this one showing up in the morning is not able to update the way it needed to. So what I am gonna do is I'm gonna share the screen right here and see if get some confirmation from you that you can see it. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna walk you through what's gonna happen through our conversation with the public. So I'm gonna start off with the IDT training resources. So that would be advising the public to go to and search for City of Fayetteville and go directly to our website. The website did get a facelift here recently, and so I'm gonna go ahead and show that to you now. All right. Show up even a little bit more condensed on here. This is so what it's gonna look like on a TV apparently. Let me see if I can click on the home here. There we go. All right, so when you land on the website, this is what you're gonna be, seeing. So this is a new landing page here. If you're looking at trying to find the EDevelopment portal, the quickest way to get there is going to be visit the City of Fayetteville main website and then go to this link here where it says permits. That's going to take you directly to the EDevelopment portal, and I'm going to go ahead and walk you all through this at the moment. So there's the expectation that you're going to come in here and register. So currently on the system, it's grown exponentially. We're right now over 7,500 registered users within the system. And one thing that I did want to know, I had a conversation with a broker that was in here a little bit earlier, and retired Navy, I'm a retired Army, and the community here is transient. So every 1, 2, 3 years, we have a new group that we're welcoming to the area, and then farewell and the others. So with that new group, there comes the expectation that we get them that information upon either entry or the folks that sell. A lot of them first time homeowners and then first time sellers. So there's some things that they're going to need to be educated on, and that's where we come in, and now with your assistance, help out those so that they know what's required to them or of them. So there's the option in here once you're on the EDevelopment portal to come in and register, and then if you're already registered, just go ahead and sign in. Before I do any of that, what I do want to show y'all is that there is other accessibility to this. So I do want to cover this page right now. EDevelopment portal. So there's the training resources here. This was added recently. So before anything happens in the system, now we're advising the public to come here for just a general training, and this is what we're going to cover in large part for this morning. But the training on what you need to know and how it's going to make your process a lot smoother, your buyers, sellers process a lot smoother. So this is going to cover some of the basic functions of the system. We have the taskbar overview in here, your project search function. That's one that the real estate brokers are going to be, I think, most interested within this training session, and that's so that you can come into the system and yourself identify what it is that's going on within that property. So are there any permits? Are the permits expired? Figure out if there's any issues within the property they're trying to sell as well, because it's not just the property. A lot of time it's land requests that we're seeing, and that's going to be in conjunction with the fire department. And there's some things that falls under county. So as an example of what would be county that we see a lot of times within record requests is going to be septic tank information. So that's just one of a few different ones. But when it comes to just the sale of land, there's some due diligence on and to be able to make sure that there aren't any issues with that property or the land. So the project search function, new project submittals can be a walkthrough of the steps to be able to get your project submitted, to go through its plan review. The invite contacts the project. So if I'm a project owner, so general contractor, let's say, or a subcontractor, that's gonna allow me as the owner of that project to directly invite everybody that needs to have applicant access to that project. Document uploads for the pre and post approval. So this is gonna cover what you're gonna need to be able to submit into the project, any accessory documents, plans, the permit applications, that's gonna be post approval. But this video will cover that. And then the site plan tutorial video. So there's certain things that require a site plan. One of the very simple ones to address is gonna be any fences that end up going up. And what zoning is gonna be specifically looking for is that you are within certain setbacks of your property lines and that there aren't any easements on the property that can be affecting the placement of that fence as an example. So there's that video there that's gonna assist with what's required for the steps on that one. Now, go back to the main landing page here. I'm gonna cover some of the different containers that we have on the page. So scrolling down into it, everything related to your commercial and residential permitting is gonna be located here. And that's gonna be associated with your building. So let me kind of click through that and we can take a look and see what we have in here. So the commercial, so these are all the standalones, driveways. So there's a mix of what's going to be the development services. Fire has its own section here, but fire is also involved in what would be a commercial plan review for your property. And then engineering as well. So you see, driveway permit here as an example. NCDOT commercial driveway permit plan reviews. Let's see the one of them here. Okay, so I do want to discuss these two at the moment. So change of occupancy classification and then change of tenant. You said, both of them no construction. So you have sold a property. The new person going into that business, that established business, if there is no construction happening, at the very minimum, needs to have a change of tenant conducted. And that's to, state that there's a new business going into place and it's not changing its use, the current use classification that can be identified by the fire department. So begin in contact with the fire department to verify what that use classification is. And then even prior to sale, verifying that the new business can go in there without any issues. And then if there is a use classification that needs to change, that's what that change of use option on here is going to be. We have that container there, the fire permitting. Now it's pretty straightforward. There's only a couple of different options under fires. And then we do have all the stuff that pertains to the land administration use or land administrative use. And this is going to be the planning, zoning, engineer, the different permits that we have in here. Something historic downtown outdoor use. So properties within the downtown. If you are looking to, on the exterior, I say you, but really any of the property owners that you're working with, are looking to do any kind of changes, modifications to the exterior of the building within the downtown footprint, it's going to require a review on that. And in most cases, it's going to be a certificate of appropriateness to verify whether or not it's going to be allowed use for that specific area. I think that's in large part what this one here is covering. Bayworks, and then county map. So these are all resources that's going to take you directly to where you need to go, and that's to just in simplicity, unless there's any specific questions throughout the training that you have, everything that you're going to need is here on this page. And let's start off with Bayworks. So CityWorks was the system that was in place and existed, and that was prior to 2022. Anything prior to 2022, we're going to end up finding in CityWorks. Bayworks is the public's access to those permits within CityWorks. So anything prior then, again, to 2022, all the way back to 2014 is gonna be located within Fayworks. So visiting this website here, I'm just gonna go ahead and click that link and it show you what that's gonna look like. So, yep, going in, creating a new account, registering for the system. You're gonna be able to go in and then search for those permits that existed again prior to 2022. Let me go. Now, a note with that, I did mention that that's back to 2014. If in our system, it's not within CityWorks, I'm gonna send you a direct message and say, hey, there's nothing on file within our systems. The other method of being able to verify anything prior, there's two different ways here, and I'm gonna cover those real quick. So the county map, if I come into the county map to verify address, let's use Haste 433 as an example. I want to say, hey, look, is this property address even located in the city of Fayetteville? All right, well, here it is right here. Well, it shows up in the middle of the street, I can see. All right. But I'm gonna go ahead and click on this one in the example. All right, if I click on this property, go ahead and look at that information. Again, this is showing up very huge on here. But if you ever click on here, be able to verify that the current owner information. And then what I'm looking for should be way down here. No, what's the line? It's right there. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we'll focus on that one. It's within the city limits. Let me go back to the map real quick and then I'm gonna zoom out a bit so you can see this. Okay, I verified, there's the city of Fayetteville, City Hall. I'm gonna zoom out some so you can see where we're looking at. All right. Everything that color matches here is within the city of Fayetteville. See how the colors differentiate here? Everything Hope Mills, same color. Same Eastover. And then everything outside of the city of Fayetteville here, so let's use this as an example. That's all gonna be, this all here, that's all county. And now there's certain areas within the city of Fayetteville that were not annexed, and it's gonna be, this is why we advise everyone to check prior to, submitting any permits so they don't run any issues. This area here, as an example, not in the city of Fayetteville. So, again, using that as an example, let me go ahead and click on a different property here and see if I can get some different information. Let's use this as an example. Oh God, I don't know why it's showing up like that. Well, you can see the different type of information that they have in here, but I did want to go in and check, which I'm not, for whatever reason, I can't scroll down on this. I'm working on the TV here. All right. Now let me go down into it. But within this section of information here, you're going to be able to look onto the county tax administration. It's going to direct you back to the county tax administration. And I guess let me click this as the way to search. Okay. Well, what I'm trying to pull up and I'm trying to show, if you visit this website here and you go directly to the Cumberland GIS map, and I'm gonna come back here just to show you where you can access it if you're trying to follow along. Click on the county map, type in that address of where you're trying to search. Now, let's say that you get a response that says that there's no permits within the system for that address. The other option you have is to be able to go into that county map. On that information that was just shown on screen, you're gonna scroll down to the bottom and it's gonna give you the tax administrative information. You're gonna click on that and you're looking for miscellaneous improvements. if there are any existing miscellaneous improvements in there, it's gonna give you a value for that, for the cost of that, and it's also gonna give you the new square footage and all that. So that's another way that you're gonna be able to verify whether there was any permits at any point. And that's gonna be reflected within the new tax administrative value of that property. So that's there's some information there about the county map. Now, when it comes to the post-approval upload that was shown within the permit submittal, clicking on here, it's gonna take you directly to all the permit application forms. And there's gonna be some additional guidance, documents here discussing when the plan review is required. We look through a fee schedule calculator. Site plan, this is gonna divert you back to that site plan creation video, and then you're gonna have all the applications listed here that need to be filled out during the permit submittal process. These are gonna be included within the post approval. So here's where all those are located. Again, the site plan tutorial video as well. I'm gonna continue going through some of these links. Now that I'm here, I'm going to click on view public projects, and this is specifically just for the guest login view. So let's say that you're not registered in here for whatever reason. Well, there is a way to come in here as a guest and then be able to look up information this way. So as you can see on screen, I'm logged in right now and I'm logging in as a guest. So let me go into an address search. All right, let me use one of these as a example. Okay, just as an example of a project. So let's say that this is an address that you're looking up. You're trying to find some information on the permit. Try to figure out what's going on within it. So on this one here, it doesn't have it in here, but you're not going to be able to see unless you have applicant access any of the inspections on here. So that's one thing that I'm going to say is missing here. But if there are inspections that have been conducted on that project, they're going to show up here in a folder. And you'll be able to look through those and then see what the status is on them, whether they're pass or failed, where it's at, where they finalized, where they CO'd, did they receive a CC for any trade work that they've done. Come through here, look at the application information. Every single one of these projects has a checklist in here that's required for the submittal. So they know exactly what it is that's required of them to be able to submit for this application type. There's the project numbers. So that's one thing that we are always going to ask for. And it's one thing that I think that within the new system is going to help you identify the project a lot easier. So if I typed in I typed in 433 Hay Street earlier, well, it's going to hit a bunch of different projects that were submitted under that address. If I wanted to find this project specifically, I'd be identifying this project number here, taking that project number and then providing that into the search bar. So now here, I'm going to hit that search and it's going to take me directly to that project instead of selecting, City Hall as the example and then seeing all of these different permits that I'm gonna have to look through because there's been several fire plan reviews, commercial plan reviews, trade work that's been done. And so the project number is going to take you directly to this project so that there's not any question about whether or not you're looking at the same thing as that project owner is. So now I'm in here. I can see directly who the applicant is, the admin I'm working with. See the type of project that I submitted for. See the workflow that's under, and then it's going to be within the jurisdiction of the city of Fayetteville, within our plan jurisdiction. Description here is going to be exactly what it is that you're doing under this project. So as you're going through a checklist, it's going to give you the different options for you to select. The only thing that you're selecting is what you're doing. It's not, does it exist? because that's not what the inspector's showing up and that's not what they're inspecting. So what the description states is this is the work that is being done for this project. Okay, current status for review approval, and then, information in here. So we go into issues with the review cycle. If there is a permit that's submitted or an application that's submitted for plan review, if there are any issues within that plan review, they will be noted here in this section. Now, under this one, there were no open issues for it. But what's going to be required is that the project owner comes in and is able to correct every single one of those issues prior to moving forward. The permits in here as well, be coming in to see what's going on with this. So the city work status, that's just telling you there's there's a number in here for city works. And that's what that would be. There's no building permit on this one. It's all gonna be showing up in city works for this specific project. Let me see if I can go back and find a different one, because this one showing up as 23. Let me see if I can find a more recent one. The text. All right, so with this one, coming in here, I can go directly to the permits. I'm seeing that there are 2 issued on this project. There's a building and then electrical. You see the date of issuance and then the expiration for that permit. So with the expirations, prior to expiration, the project owner receives a notification 30 days prior to that expiration. So it's never a surprise that the thing is going to expire. Now, if there are permits in here that you've seen that are expired, so you came to this project and this permit's expired. If there haven't been any inspections conducted within that year, then there's going to be that permit's going to stay expired. Let me look through this right here. There's some notes in here, so you can see directly from staff. Any notes? Building permit is needed for the concrete pad, and mechanical permit is needed for the gas pipe. Okay, so directly there, they're corresponding with that project applicant, letting them know what's required for them to come back into this project and then submit what is required to move forward. So I'm still seeing a mechanical permit is required, and that's something that's not in here. So that's something that have to be addressed and taken care of for this one, like commercial electrical. Okay. Well, that should all again match the description on here, and they know what's required going forward. Submittal data. So I'm going to come through here as staff to verify what it is that was selected. All the project location information is shown here. This is going to be what is also known as like the electronic submittal data application information that's required of you to be able to submit this for plan review. So you see the GIS verified data, project owner information, your project contact, oftentimes going to be the same. It's not always going to be, but it's circumstantial. So in this case, they are the same. There's contractor license information, the electrical contractor reflected here within submittal data. Looking through what else they have, we have another person on file here. Okay, project description, and then here's the selection and note of what is that's happening within the project. So do some electrical wiring, number of amps on here, generators, and that's pretty much all they're doing. At the very end of this, we have the expiration notice. So that once it's issued, permit will expire if no work is commenced within the first 6 months for each trade from the date the permit was issued. Or commencement of work does not match the administrative code, general statutes, and or city ordinances. If an inspection has been done, the permit will expire 12 months from the date of inspection. So there's a notification on what the expectation is for the lifetime of that permit. Now we have within the submittal data as well, the applicant is required to come in here after acknowledgement, state that they have read everything, agree with all the terms, and then digital signature for verification at the very end of this. So allows us to tie back directly into that user's account to track activity. And next, we're gonna cover emails. So in here, everything that's done within the system is timestamped. Let me look, see if anybody's got it. Okay, so everything's gonna be timestamped within the system. Be able to come in here and then see what's going on. A lot of time it's, hey, what my contractor's telling me this. And you know, I come to verify with you now as a member of the city that they're telling me the truth. Well, two things with that. All the information that we're looking for is gonna be here within the emails. So when's the last time that activity took place on this project? And that's gonna be in here. If there's any holdup within the project, well, what's the holdup? I can come in here and I can say, okay, well, on this date here, there was a message that was sent and it was about the decline on the project. So why was it declined? Well, I don't know, let me click on that and let me find out. Oh, well, here it is, and it's highlighted for you if you wanted to read no other information. We need electrical plans and gas piping plans. We also need completed and signed electrical permit, mechanical permit, and building permit. So until the applicant comes back into the system and then provides the plans examiners those documents, the project isn't moving forward. So there's the answer right there. What's the holdup on the project? Well, if you go to the emails, you'll be able to pull that up and then identify exactly what it is that's required to move forward. So you have that there. Now the other step on this. So within the project actions tab, so you click that, drop down is going to be in here. So you can check all the project fees to verify you know, how much the applicant was charged for the work that they said that they were doing. View the project email history. And then a very good tool to use if you're trying to track a project. So you come in here and hit the start tracking this project. This is what's showing up currently under the guest account, but if you're logged in, it's going to save it directly to your account. So let me go ahead and, now that I've covered all that, everything that I just did and everything that I covered, I did within a guest account. So there's a lot that you can see. It's a very transparent system that allows you to come in here and be able to review all of the documents, all the emails, the submittal data, track any issues that are going on within it, see notes directly listed in here by staff. And so there's a lot that you can end up seeing. Let me see. So let's go to, I'll go log out and I'm gonna sign in. Okay, so now I'm logged in as admin. Now the one thing I did want to cover with that function is going to be the ability to track. So we were just on that 433 Hay Street project, and I clicked on the project activity at the top. Let me go to what would be projects. This is what you're going to see on your page as well. There's going to be some additional tabs up there that will look a little different for you as a registered user. But I'm going to go to my projects as an example. And within that submittal, it's going to show you the projects that you're tracking. Let me go under company submittals, and then this is going to be everything that the city of Fayetteville has submitted for. So I'm going to click on this one as just as a test. So within this project, I'm going to click on project actions, and now you're going to see all these different options. I'm logged in now under my user account, and you're going to see all this different information in here. So again, to start tracking this project, what that's going to allow you to do once you click that is to be able to receive notifications on any uploads, on any status changes for that project there, so you'll be able to track it along the way. So let's say you're working with a seller and they're doing some renovations or construction within within that property. You can come in here, they can invite you to the project and just come through and check and see what the status is on it. Any notes, and there's a lot that you can do with that. I am seeing some in Q&A. Let me see. Where should I- Okay, yeah, I'm going into that now. So close that. Okay, but so that's the start tracking project there. Now, once you start tracking it, if you're done with it, you're like, okay, I'm done, I don't need that anymore. You can come directly into it, stop tracking the project, it'll take it off, and you won't get any more notifications on that. The location again that's saved to, I would go into my projects and then check under projects that I'm tracking. Now, under the company submittals, again, if you register under your company, because the individual registration is going to be either your personal, so you're doing it as a homeowner, or you're doing it as a company. If you register under that company and you're submitting any permits, you're going to end up seeing them show up in here. So two different things that you can do. It's either going to be like a company submittal, or you're going to end up seeing it in the projects I'm tracking. Projects that you specifically submitted, that's gonna show up under your plan review submittals. So you'll see all this in here. Got a bunch of tests going on in mine. Okay. Now, let's say that you've done everything that you can within the Bayworks system and the IDT system. So let's say I'm back in this homepage here, and there's some information that you're unclear about or you'd like to verify. That you like to verify that you're not comfortable with under Bayworks as an example, because when you come into Bayworks, there's gonna be information that you're gonna have access to that's gonna show you, let's use an example. A project you searched back in 2020, and you see that it's the permits in there, that it's issued, but it's still showing the status of issued as of 2020. Well, if you check inspections on there, because it'll let you see inspections as well for that project. You go down into the inspections and you see that it never received a pass on the final. That should be a indicator that that project was never closed out for final inspection. So that'll tell you that that project is expired. The system in the past with CityWorks specifically, so when you're looking at Bayworks, anything 2022 and prior, if there's any questions with that, what we're gonna end up doing is we'll go here, and then we can go to at the very top of the main City of Fayetteville website, so FayettevilleNC.gov, hitting that quick links at the top, and then hitting public record requests. So he said, hey, look, I looked it up, I'm just not comfortable with what I'm seeing, and most of it is just a matter of process. So you're gonna end up going through this a couple times before you get familiar with something. It's just the case with most things, is being able to go through, test it out, go back, do it again, and then get familiar with the system. But let's say that you want to request a public record. Okay, so I'm coming in here. I'm gonna go into make a request. This is what you're going to be prompted with, is the information. So if it's specifically related to a permit concerning a property address, you can go in here and do the description, say, hey, I'm a broker, I'm selling this property address. I wanted to verify whether or not this permit is still active or not. I'm seeing it in the system, it's reflecting that it's issued, but there hasn't been a final pass on the inspection. Well, you could come in here as an option as well if you're still not comfortable with it, and request the description, upload any files that you need to, select a department within here, If there's specific questions, again, concerning septic information, that's gonna be handled by Cumberland County. And then, selecting development services, not a need to, most of the time, it's, what we end up seeing is that, the public will select city record requests, it'll be assigned to our marketing communications department. And then they'll forward that over to us and we'll get it taken care of. But, email, name, phone number, city information, company name, hit make a request. And we'll get back to you as soon as possible. If it's just a verification, try to get to those within 24, 48 hours. But there is a timeline. We have up to a month. We receive hundreds of requests per month. So just if it's priority, also you can reach out to us, send us an email at inspections@fayetteville.nc.gov. Or reach out to us at 910-433-1707, and we are option 3 for the permitting division. So let me go ahead and pause there. I want to stop and throughout this, at this point that we're at, if there's any questions, you go ahead and post those in there. I don't see anything that has been unanswered yet. I'm gonna go into the website. I'm gonna go to try to locate development services in here. So if you go under city departments, go to development services. We go to go in here. Okay, so on the development services page, you're coming out of the bottom and there's some guidance here. So one, we have the UDO. We have the direct link to the EDevelopment portal. There's the project submittal manual in here. There's a development review finder for new development within the city. We have a required permit list, which I am going to cover here in a second. Inspections map for you to identify who the inspector is for your assigned address. The consumer guide, change of occupancy classifications and change of use. So again, if there's a new business going into a existing building, is that use classification okay for them to move into? And then the last one is going to be the fee schedule, which is new and it's approved for fiscal year as of fiscal year 2024. All right, under the required permit list. So this one here, it's not all encompassing, but it's a very good guideline of what it is that is going to require a permit under your residential and commercial building. So you have a list of it here. It's also going to outline things that if it doesn't require a building permit, what type is going to be required. So let's go as an example. One we see very, very frequently, a fence. Okay, so you're not required a building permit for that fence, but a zoning permit is going to be required. And again, that's for them to go through and verify that you're not encroaching on the neighbor's property, that there aren't any issues with setback, that there aren't any easements on the property. So there's an example of something that is outlined. Okay, you don't require this type of permit, but then this one would be required. So you have that under the residential there, and then under commercial as well. At the very bottom of this, we have that discussed information about septic tanks, local health department, water wells, liquid propane tanks, commercial boilers, and then the regulation of elevators by the North Carolina Department of Labor. So some examples there. What's currently in the works is going to be a brochure that's going to be sent out to y'all. There's an expectation that we'll have that back by Friday this week. And that'll be sent over to partners here at the association for you to have, and this is gonna be pre and post sale. So, hey, look, I'm working with you now. Congratulations on selling this home. Here's a brochure. Just verify that you're not required to permit for what it is that you're doing. And then if there are any permits open, this is how you go about verifying that they're in compliance. For post sale, okay, congratulations on the purchase of your new home. Here's this brochure, just make sure there aren't gonna be any issues, because what's gonna happen, let's use the fence as an example. You go up and you put up a fence because you didn't know any better at that time, nobody informed you. You put that fence up, a week down the road, code enforcement stops by, and then now you've received a notice of violation and you're hit with a work without a permit. So work without a permit is gonna be 2 times the fee, and that's gonna be per trade. So a note there on why it is that's so important. But if not you're already using the permit required list and providing that to buyers and sellers, at this point here, you're gonna recommend that that's something that's provided to them. That's gonna educate them on what is and is not going to require a permit. Again, this week, we following back with y'all and then the association as well to send out new brochure. Just how do I identify whether or not there are permits that'll be covered in there, and then also all the requirements for some of these more frequent ones that we do see. Again, it's not all encompassing, but if there's any questions, just know that you can reach out to us as well, and we're here to assist you as employees of the city. So we go ahead and take a look through here. Make sure there's nothing that I'm missing. Jason, I do want to give you the opportunity. I don't know if there's anything that you wanted to address with them specifically, or any kind of guidance.
Just pretty much that, our system is available. Please don't call staff, because as you see, we're not sitting in front of the phones. I mean, it's pretty much hit anything that would be on my end.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay. Okay, and as mentioned before, so the system, we are just administrators of this system. And that's for both CityWorks and IDT. We don't own this system. I don't think it's perfect by any means. We think it's made a significant impact on what it is that we're capable of doing as very short-staffed city employees. But ultimately, we're here to assist on a monthly basis. We're looking at 1,000+ permits, the inspections that accompany that, and here and willing to assist with any questions that you do have. I'm going ahead and pause at this moment. If there's any questions that you have, please go ahead and ask now. If not, this is the end of everything. If you need to, please reach out. My personal my email, first name, last name at FayetteVilleNC.com. So that's Alexander Magana at FayetteVilleNC.com. The Development Center Manager again for the city of Fayetteville, and we appreciate your time. Look forward to working with you in the future. Okay, so one of the questions that came up when we're registering for an account just to search for permits, should we register as a business under the firm name we work for, or as an individual account? So you can do either or. If you're registering as a business, because I've done it both ways myself. So I have my personal account that I use, and I generally use that one to test and see what it is the public has access to visibility wise. So if I go into the system under my admin account, I want to verify what it is that the public can see as just a homeowner, right? So that's there's no issue with registering for both. But what you can do is under the business, if you stay within the business, as I showed before, when you click on my project at the top, you'll be able to see project submittals for your company. So if everybody's registering under that specific business, everything will be organized for you that way to be able to identify the project. Again, if you're looking for a specific project, highly advise that you receive a project number from whoever it is that you're working with, so that you're able to just identify that project and there's no confusion as to whether or not you're looking at the same information. So you can, go ahead and do one or the other, it's just personal preference and what you're trying to do. If you didn't want to log in again and you just wanted to check something real quick, you can go ahead and log in as a guest as well, and you can have, visibility on the majority of that stuff as well. We try to be as transparent as possible, with the public. We're here for the property owners, we're here to ensure that there's safety and compliance across the city, on all these residential and commercial projects, so. Again, if there's any questions that you have in the future, and the end of this week, we'll get with the association, get them the most recent, so that you're able to go out and provide that information to homeowners. And we're continually educating the public, because again, the city of Fayetteville, we're surrounded by a military installation, which is a revolving door for new homeowners. So that's what we're trying to do, is just educate the public together, and you all are going to assist us with making that happen. So again, thank you very much. It was a pleasure working with y'all, and look forward to working with you in the future.